Hello fellow sim racers. Today I'm finally taking a look at the Sveg track mod for Assetto Corsa. Its creator Leon has been gently reminding me that I said I'd make this video for a little while now, so stick around to find out why I've broken my own self-imposed no fantasy tracks rule. It probably won't surprise some of you to learn that I'm not really a fan of fantasy tracks. My interest in sim racing is a product of my passion for real-world motorsport, and recreating that as best as I can in the virtual world is a big part of what motivates me to jump in the sim rig every day. So when I saw several community members starting to talk about this Sveg mod track, I can't say I was all that interested. But Leon reached out to me and asked if I could make a video about the track, and I was just about to break for Christmas, so I didn't really have the time, but I downloaded the track anyway, and boy was I impressed. As is so often the case, the story of the development of this mod is just as interesting as the technical side of things. Leon visited the Sveg locality in the summer of 2013, which planted the seed for the Assetto Corsa circuit. The starting point was this photograph, which, to use Leon's words, was too beautiful not to become part of a racetrack. It's hard to disagree. The circuit layout makes use of existing roads, combined with others that Leon has added himself, much in the same way a temporary street circuit would be constructed. And this does help Sveg feel a lot more plausible than many fantasy tracks, which often fall into the trap of cherry-picking the best parts of several of the author's favourite circuits and mashing them together into some sort of unholy scalextric set. For me, that's where Sveg differs. It feels believable. In fact, if you took my internet access away and told me Sveg hosted the 1974 Swedish Grand Prix, I would probably have believed you. And on that note, there is definitely more than a little helping of old school cool about this place. As you would expect for such a project, the basis of the layout was formulated using Google Maps, Street View, and the author's own photographic records, the latter being of particular use for creating unique textures for things like the road surface, guardrails and walls, as well as the distinctive trees that form a significant part of the circuit's visual character. All of this comes together to give the mod a very coherent feel and, importantly, a real sense of place. And it does feel unmistakably Scandinavian, although strangely it also gives off a bit of a North American vibe as well, although that might just be the concrete walls. So the mod looks good and feels very believable. But ultimately what really matters is how the circuit performs as a racing venue. For much of the lap, the track layout itself makes use of a number of right angle turns intersected by fast open road sections, as you would expect from a road course. However, the final sector is comprised of a number of faster, sweeping and, dare I say it, more interesting corners. This gives Sveg a similar feel to the previous iteration of Hockenheim, only with right angle junction turns instead of chicanes. Moreover, the high-speed blast out into the woods before returning to a more built-up section with interesting corners surrounded by grandstands does little to dissuade that comparison. The other touch point, of course, would be Le Mans, and it's no surprise that Sveg is most suited to the same sort of cars. At over 8 kilometers in length, with much of that distance flat out, this is a circuit that really lends itself to faster cars. From a technical perspective, everything behaves as it should. The surface feels good and rubbers in nicely, and the AI behave as you would expect. These all sound like quite basic things, but shouldn't be taken for granted when it comes to mod tracks in my experience. Sveg started life as an excuse for its creator to learn 3D modelling, but it's evolved into a refined track mod that's earned a lot of justified praise from the AC racing community. This is a well put together circuit, and it's no slouch as a racing venue either. But I think for me what's so compelling about this track is there's really not much else like it available for Assetto Corsa. Sure, you could draw comparisons to the likes of Le Mans or Hockenheim, but that's really only due to the size and speed of the circuit. Beyond that, they share little in common. Perhaps due to the nature of the location or the open road circuit feel, This has more in common with the long-closed classic road circuits of the 60s than it does with modern racing venues, and honestly, that's probably what I love about it the most. While the circuit does feel pretty much complete, if I'm being totally honest, I'd like to see lighting in a future build, especially as I think this track is very well suited to endurance racing. But that's a very small gripe with what is otherwise an excellent circuit for Assetto Corsa. If you're interested in downloading the Sveg mod, then I've included a link to the race department download page in the video description. And as usual, if you enjoy the circuit, please leave the creator a review on RD or consider making a small donation. So that just about wraps things up here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then it would be great if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can see more content like this in the future. So all that's left to say is goodbye, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.